Sharkast. 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 IAA Sharkast.
Hello, IAA. This is Sharkast episode 21. This is Dr. Don, your host, and today we will actually be enjoying a vodcast of the General Assembly. Hope you enjoy.
Are we ready, Dr. Don?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. So good afternoon to all of you. Before we start our General Assembly, I would like to introduce the board members. First, Ms. Karine Gao, she's our treasurer. Mr. Zeng Gao, Nicholas Armstrong, he's our vice president. Ms. Cheryl Johnson, she's our secretary. Mr. Stefan Mueller, and Mr. Brian Quingley, he's the U.S. representative in our board. Now I would like to start by calling to order this meeting. Usually we need to wait for an hour until we get a quorum, but since this year we are doing this General Assembly in a very different format, we are going to start right away. So I'm going to give the word to our director, Dr. Don.
Thank you, Yael. We're going to start today with our IAA celebrations. We always want to start with our great kids and all that they've accomplished this year. And so we're going to talk about achievements, some of the challenges we've met, and future plans. First of all, our biggest achievement, I think, in my opinion, is having a wonderful individual with us, and that's Mrs. K. And if you haven't heard yet, she was nominated and then elected as Principal of the Year for the World Region of American Schools. That's the National Elementary School Principal of the Year. So in every state in the United States, one principal is selected from the whole state to be the Principal of the Year. And then we have one elementary principal that's also selected worldwide, and that would be our very own Mrs. K. We know how much she brings to our school, so I think we should do a little hoop and holler. Let's give her a little cheer. You can even open up your microphones if you want, or you can do jazz hands, but we love Mrs. K.
Oh, Miss K! Congratulations!
Congratulations! You totally deserve it.
You deserve it.
You're the best. Totally deserve it, Miss K.
Thank you. And I know Mrs. K is very grateful to each of you who have poured out your appreciation for her since she has received this prestigious award. We all knew she was Principal of the Year. Now the rest of the world knows. So we're very, very happy for her. And that's one of our greatest achievements, is just having her here and being part of the IAA community. We also want to celebrate Schoology and our virtual schooling. Although it's not ideal and it's not what we would choose, we've done a heck of a job with it this last year to make sure our kids could keep learning and keep growing. And we want to celebrate even more the reopening of our campus and hybrid learning. Another thing to celebrate this year is EIAA. EIAA is an innovative way that we've chosen as a school to make it possible for some families that were really struggling with the pandemic and the economics of the pandemic to remain a part of our IAA community and family. And so it helped 35 families to be able to remain with the school and to be able to stay connected with their teachers. In addition to that, we had very great success this year in recruiting international teachers to come for the next academic school year. And I'll introduce them to you in a minute. But first, I want to talk a little bit more about Miss K. As I mentioned already, she has received the National Distinguished Principal of the Year Award from the Department of State Assisted Schools for 2021. That's a title that she'll keep intact over the next year, where she'll be going to an awards banquet in Washington, D.C. in October to receive her award formally. As most of you know, Miss K has been at IAA for the past 4 years, and she was scheduled to depart in June for her new position with the Bureau of Education and Cultural Affairs in Afghanistan. Due to the unrest in the region, she may not be able to accompany her husband. So we have asked Mrs. K to stay with us, although she has had several opportunities, including a job offer to be a principal in the state of California for the next academic school year. We have asked Ms. K to choose IAA as her choice and to remain here until a later time when she's able to join her husband in Afghanistan. And Mrs. K has agreed to remain at Inter-American Academy into the next school year. So that's a big announcement, and I wanted to share it with those in the General Assembly. Go ahead and cheer out loud. You can turn off your microphone.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
That's great.
Amazing.
That's great. Fantastic.
The school is lucky to have you for one more year.
At this time, I would like to turn a few minutes over to Mrs. K to share a few words with you. Mrs. K.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your love through this award. Also, I've received a lot of phone calls and wonderful messages. I'm very touched and very grateful. I'm humbled more than anything. And I do want to say to all of you that I am receiving this award on behalf of all of us, teachers, students, and parents. This award was earned by all of us together, not by me. It's a community award. I also want to say thank you because, thank you. I also want to thank everybody for showing your warmth. Even though this is a very difficult decision for me and my husband, I am at peace and my heart is filled with love, knowing that I can stay one more year or some more time with you guys and this community. I know that I will find the support that I need here with our community and our students, our teachers, and I'm very grateful to be able to share this happiness right now with all of you. So thank you very much for your support, and I will continue seeing you these coming months.
Woo! We love you, Miss K.
Thank you.
If you would like to leave congratulatory comments in the chat for Mrs. K, that would be great. We're recording this General Assembly and we'll be also recording all of the chat. So feel free to leave your comments in the chat for her so that we have that as a record for the future. Certainly, Mrs. K has already left her legacy on our school and she's a precious member of our family, and we're just excited that she'll continue to be here with us into the next academic school year. Thank you, Mrs. K. I would like to introduce you to our new teachers for this next academic school year. We have two new families coming to our Inter-American Academy family. The first family is the family of Shay Okonoye, who is going to be one of our new science teachers. Shay is a wonderful teacher from New York City who's been teaching at a progressive project-based school and has been teaching AP biology, is already trained in advanced placement. And we're very excited to welcome his family to the school. In addition to that, we've made a great hire of Dr. Brian Horvath, who will be serving as our secondary principal because Mrs. K will continue as our elementary school principal. And Brian's wife, Miss Annie Rubin, is going to be our first grade teacher. Miss Vale, who is our first grade teacher currently, will be moving to 5th grade next year. So we're very, very excited to have these new families join us for the next academic school year. And we'll be introducing them to you into August so that you can get to know them. Our climbing together has been a theme because certainly surviving COVID is like climbing a mountain together. And with all of the recruitment efforts in the past year, it's been very difficult to recruit international teachers. As you probably are aware, most families are staying wherever they're at during the pandemic. So we're very grateful to have these families join us, and they're certainly the best in their field. Our next challenge is student recruitment. So I wanted to share this chart with you so you could see our states of where we're at as a school over the past 20 years. If you look at the red dotted line, you will see that our school is right at the red dotted line this year with 263 students. I will say that we've gone up since we went back to in-person schooling from about 240 or 235 students back to 263. So that's been a real blessing to open up our campus. But you can also see that back in 2016, 17 and 2017, 18, we were at less students than we are today at 259 and 254. And we had a great year in 2019, 2020, where we were at 330 students. So our goal, of course, as a school is to get back to where we were, get back to around 350 students. So that's maybe one of our greatest challenges during the pandemic, and we will do that. We also want to celebrate that just because we were virtual doesn't mean we couldn't have a good time. So we've had a lot of events this year, and you can see from these photos that some of our students and parents have really gotten into our virtual events, including our spooktacular Zoom events. In addition to that, we had our Thanksgiving celebration, and what a great time to reflect on the things we're truly grateful for during this pandemic. And there's a lot to be grateful for, and it starts with our family and friends, especially here at IAA, and we love each of you. So we thank you for being grateful. Our alumni even got into the celebrations of gratitude in November from all over the world. Our alumni and students that used to be at Inter-American Academy sent cards and messages of gratitude to our social networks and to our principals. So we appreciate our alumni. Our family is really all over the world. We also enjoyed a holiday fun run in December that our Stuco sponsored and also our NHS. And so that was a lot of fun. In addition to that, we had a holiday assembly where we were able to learn about holiday traditions from all over the world and from different cultures and religions. So that was a great event. We even burned some really kind of scary clowns and Captain America, and so we were able to do that. We won't talk about the ladies that showed up, the widows that showed up. That was kind of scary too, but that was a fun holiday assembly. We had our cafe concierto where our kids were able to show their musical talent, their talent with poetry, and our Stuco did a wonderful job of delivering these great trays with cookies and coffee and mugs. And so we appreciate our student leadership this year. They really stepped it up during a virtual time period, but they went and hand delivered these packages to families' homes. We appreciate our students. And then on the 21st of this month, if you haven't sent your pictures in yet, please send them in. Only a couple more days. We're going to have our International Day celebration. So it's important to remember that we celebrate as a community no matter what. Even if we're forced to be virtual, we will celebrate. At this point, I'm going to turn the time over to Yael, our board president, for the board committee reports.
Thank you, Dr. Don. So the board of directors the school has a unique purpose, is to prepare compassionate, happy, successful future global leaders who impact the world in a positive way. The board has been working really hard on this purpose based on a 5-pillar program. We're currently in the 3rd year of this program, and all this hard work has been divided in different committees that each of the board members are part of. So we're going to start with a report of the Development and Strategic Committee, and I'm going to ask Nick Armstrong, please, to give us the report.
Okay, thanks, Yael. Thank you, Don. Okay, well, from a strategy and development point of view, it has been a very testing year. What we were working on previous to COVID, obviously we were planning for the future of the school and working on master plans and looking at growing number of students in order to plan for the continued success of the school. And suddenly the initiatives that we had already in place had to be changed to one of almost survival, not to sound too dramatic. But anyway, what we managed to do is obviously work hard at keeping up the school spirits, working hard on admissions, making sure that, you know, we kept the school numbers as much as possible. We ran several open houses during the transition program. Admissions was run through a new platform for enrollment, Alma. We're working on redeveloping the website, which is something that's coming soon. We've used all means of technology to keep in contact with the community, be it newsletters, podcasts or Sharkasts, which have been pretty successful so far, with some important guest speakers as well, with very good numbers for attendance as well. So there has been a lot of participation by the community. Don already mentioned that IAA was also a new initiative which was launched. It was a way for families to continue being part of the community, even if they couldn't, for whatever reason, remain affiliated to the school under normal circumstances. They still managed to stay with us, at least for this difficult period. And it was also a recruitment tool as well. So we try to recruit new families, you know, who could take the opportunity to get to know IAA via the E channel. Let's see. Andrea, who's moving the slides? Don? Thank you. We mentioned the website that's coming soon. So that should be up and running within the next few weeks, hopefully. And a few examples of the newsletters that have been coming out on a continuous basis, constant communications from the school over the last few months, you know, whether we were going to be able to be present, or whether, should we say, the students were going to be able to be present has always been a big issue. There has been a lot of work in the background as well in terms of lobbying with the relevant authorities in order to get the school open. Thankfully, you know, we are in a very good position right now. The students are back on campus. I think if I'm not mistaken, we are the only school in Guayaquil at the moment which is allowed to be on campus. So I think that is a big success as well. And the podcasts, as I've already mentioned as well, very successful. A lot of participation from all aspects of the community, both students, teachers, parents as well. So it's a way of staying close together and close knit while we maintain a social distance. And as I mentioned again, the use of all electronic channels via either Instagram pages, Facebook pages, a new YouTube channel as well, which is open and you can subscribe to stay up to date with everything that is going on at the IAA at the moment. And we've run a few different events, should we say. The CA event, which is a free webinar as well, and this is basically to prepare students, you know, so they can get an idea of what is available to them going forward after school, you know, looking at universities, looking at colleges, virtual tours, virtual university fairs. Basically, you know, the world has gone virtual. So again, IAA is making the most of this initiative in order to keep offering new and diverse options to our students. And again, strong presence in social media. And that's it from the strategy side.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our dear IA family. So let's move to the financial part. My name is Gao Seng. As mentioned before, Don, in his previous presentation about our enrollment of the students, the year 2021, we have 263 numbers of the students. compared with last few years, we are still looks okay, but anyway, compared with the 1920, we have a job around 60 students. So this is a huge impact to our financial parts. But anyway, we are doing our best, trying to get up or trying to attract more students. And with the reopening of the school, with more advertisement, with all the activities previously mentioned by Nick. So we have to do everything to increase our financial, reduce the financial impact as less as we can. And on the other side, the assumption of the budget of 21-22, we have offered no increasing in registration fees, matriculars, and we have offered as well 25% of the discount in matriculation if done by before 15th of May. So we have 3 days to do that. But this is only limited with the family who has no any financial debts with the school. And as well for 21-22, we are not going to increase any tuitions and no IP cross fees, but the IP cross test fees still applies. And then no semester fees for student support services due to the pandemic as well. So in all of that, in maintaining a good quality of education for all our dear children's needs as a priority, even though that we have to dip into the reserves. So I move this part of the numbers to our dear Karen, please.
Yes, sure. So let's zoom in on a few numbers on how we'll be finishing this year, academic year. So a few numbers, IAA has provided exceptional aid for 57 families of our community who have been impacted by the COVID economical impact. So it represents 271K. We also wanted to truly thank the US Department of State represented by Brian Kingley, who granted us 275K for this year. So really, thank you. That helps a lot, right? And then if we look at the P&L, so how we'll be finishing 2020-2021 this academic year. So as you can see, we are actually back to black. We are at 10K profit despite the circumstances, which is good to see. And for next year, so as Gao said, right, we don't want to cut on expenditures that would impact the academic level of cut in our reserve, and that's why we are looking at the red figure for next year at 130K loss. That being said, the assumption is with 250 students. So if we were to find 20 students more, we would be break even. So we count on the word to mouth on the community to actually find students. 20 students more and we would be break even. So that's a positive news at the end. It's not such a dramatic number.
Last but not the least, so we have a new payment options for 21-22. So Bank of Guayaquil, credit cards from the Bank of Guayaquil can it's offering a special offer to pay the full years in 10 months without interest. So this is a part applied for the payments process between 15th of May to 6th of August. So if any families has this credit cards from the Bank of Guayaquil can do this good offer. The other options I think is under discussion, so coming soon.
Hello, my name is Cheryl Johnson, and I'm one of the representatives from the governance committee. You can see here that the goal of the governance committee and the areas that we are working at this time, just maintaining and updating the policies of the committee and the board, and reviewing any skills and needs that we have. At this time, we can go to the next screen. At this time, we have 2 open spots on the board that we are looking to fill. I'm sure a lot of you have seen all of the communication that's been coming out and emails and text messages looking for our candidates. You can see here some of the different skill areas that we're looking for, but really what it comes down to is we would like to have parents that are really supportive of IAA and they want to see the school continue to succeed and be successful into the future. At this time, we currently have 1 confirmed candidate. Okay, so our candidate that we have right now is Shalane Bliss. She's new to the school this school year and has 4 children at the school. She prepared a video that we're going to share with everyone so that you can see her and meet her. Before that video starts, I'll just go ahead and say that we still have 1 more spot that we would like to fill. So if you are listening and you want to get involved and you want to see the school make changes for the better, you want to, you have things to offer to make our school a better school, please reach out to one of us on the board or to Dr. Don with your interests. We need your help, and we need some good team players and people who want to see the school succeed.
Okay, so I'll try to play this. Let me know if you can't hear it.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Shalane Bliss. We have 4 children attending IAA. Charlotte is in 7th grade, Olivia is in 4th, Abby is in 2nd grade, Henry is in 1st grade. So we have a lot of children attending IAA. This is our 1st year there. We should have 3 years here in Guayaquil. I work at the U.S. Consulate General here in Guayaquil as the Deputy Section Chief, the Consular Section. And I've been working for the State Department for almost 12 years. Before that, I was a lawyer. And my last position as an attorney was I worked in an office of general counsel for a university. Other than that, I don't really have a background in education, and I haven't served on a school board before, but I'd be happy to serve on this one and to be helpful in whatever way I could be. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Shalane. Thank you for volunteering. And if anybody out there is listening and wants to also help, again, please don't hesitate to reach out to a board member or Dr. Don, and we'd be happy to talk with you.
Okay, this is the end of our General Assembly. But before we end, we would like to take any questions or comments that the parents might have at this time, and the board would be glad to answer any of your questions, especially if they're hard questions. The board can answer those.
How is the vaccination plan going?
Okay, yes. Thank you, Lorena, for bringing that up. We didn't include that in the celebrations because it was a recent development. Yesterday, all of our teachers were vaccinated. And so today at school, your students might have come home and said, it was kind of like a zombie apocalypse today at school. The teachers were walking around and they had no energy and they were sore and they looked a little bit under the weather. But the reality is we were all very happy, even though we felt a little under the weather, because we got our vaccinations yesterday. So that was a huge celebration. We had a lot of community members. They were helping us to get any connection we could to get those vaccinations done. And so we're really, really excited about that. We'll get our second shots on June 8th. So we look forward to finishing off that process. Thank you for bringing that up, Lorena.
I have a question, Don.
Yeah.
Do you foresee the school coming back to presential 5 days a week after when we come back in August? How do you see the return to class happening?
Well, our goal is to be back 5 days a week and to migrate to a full day schedule. That's our goal. What we have the advantage of is that we're the only school on the coast that runs on this calendar schedule. So we get out June 4th and we'll be able to watch how things go with the other schools in June and July. And so when we start school in August, we'll have a good idea of how many cases of COVID there are in Guayaquil. we'll have a good idea of how many of our families have been vaccinated. And so our goal and our hope is that we'd be able to start out the school year with a full schedule. And that's what we're working toward. There is a possibility that we could start like the first 5 days of the school year with a virtual period or a hybrid period due to families traveling. We'll just kind of see what things look like. But then our goal is to go to a full day schedule for the year and hopefully remain in that through the majority of the year. That's our goal. Let's see, there's another question here. Oh, not a question. No questions. A big thank you to everyone at the school, entire staff, teachers. We are at the end of the year and our kids have completed successful virtual and partial live schooling. Thank you very much, Divya, for that comment. I know that the teachers have been working their tails off this year. We did a teacher survey along with the parent survey and a student survey this year. And in the teacher survey, 100% of our teachers said that they spend much more time planning for virtual and hybrid schooling than for planning for in-person schooling. So it takes a lot more energy and time to prepare for hybrid and virtual. And so we'll be really, really happy when we can get back to being on campus and having all of us back. Any other comments or questions? I'm going to take off the screen sharing so that we can see your faces. If you want to turn on your cameras and wave to your friends, you can wave to your friends. Now we get to see Miss K. Congratulations, Mrs. K. We love you. Okay, well, I'm going to turn the time over to Yael to adjourn the General Assembly.
Thank you very much for all of you, for all the parent support and the teachers, and especially thanks to Dr. Don. I think this past year and a half hasn't been easy. I want also to take the opportunity to thank the board members. It has been wonderful to be the president and part of the board for the past 4 years. I wish you all the best, and I will be always here for any support. So thank you, all of you, for reaching out, and see you next time.
Thank you, Yael, for your service to the community. We appreciate you. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Have a great evening. Enjoy your family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank
for
you.
everything. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, board members.